or actually probably only two sentences. Two sentences is probably all you would need.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean,
some sight and touch.
Yeah, check the pulse.
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. So did you? Wow. Did you know migrating birds? Some of them stay in the air for half a year without touching down. I don't really have a story with this. It just sounds familiar because I thought it was jaguars, not birds, that went so long without touching down. Ooh. I'm talking about the NFL team, of course.
Oh,
Jaguars.
Right.
Yeah.
Yikes. Yeah.
Moving on.
Well, I heard an interesting story this week, actually earlier today, where a Montana woman called 911 to get assistance because she was too drunk to get out of her car. This was, I believe it was apparently after she had, driven the vehicle. But she calls 911 to basically, turn herself in for drunk driving, but not intentionally. She needed help getting out of her car. But I commend her for it. At least she knows her limitations, But a woman is charged with felony drunk driving after police in Billings, Montana say she called 911 and said she was too drunk to get out of her vehicle. The Billings Gazette reports 55-year-old Carol Frances O'Meara made an initial appearance in Yellowstone County Justice Court on Wednesday. She remained jailed Thursday on a $3,000 bond. O'Meara was arrested Tuesday night after a woman called dispatchers and said she couldn't get out of her vehicle. The dispatcher asked if she was having medical or mechanical issues. Court records say the caller replied that she was just too drunk. So I commend her again for knowing her limitations and for being honest with the police. But
it's much better. I've heard people calling 911 for their cable being out, for McDonald's being out of chicken nuggets. Did the judge happen to declare her legally dead at any point during this? Because I'm kind of worried about this whole, being declared dead suddenly.
Well, interestingly, she might have been closer to being legally dead than Mr. Miller in the previous story. Prosecutors say O'Meara's blood alcohol level was a 0.311%, nearly 4 times the limit at which a driver is considered legally intoxicated.
Wow, that's impressive that she could even use a phone to call the police.
Exactly. I mean, she's thinking, okay, I am hammered. I'm going to drive home. You get home. Now, for most people, that might be the dangerous part. But for her, the more dangerous part was being trapped in her car, possibly for hours. I mean, she could have, I don't know, suffocated, got dehydrated, hypothermia. I mean, think of all the things that could have happened, by the time that she was sober enough to get out of the car.
Definitely dehydration.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a survival series or something. It's but thankfully, the 911 operator got her some help, and then she got jailed.
You know what? I actually have a related story.
Really?
Somewhat about being drunk. They found that Pedialyte, the children's drink for dehydration, is also a hangover cure. Of course, my question is, why are we letting these kids get drunk in the first place?
Yeah, if your kid needs Pedialyte, I mean, let's get them off the sauce. I mean, just keep them from going out at night.
Seriously. The electrolyte-loaded liquid, which is given to dehydrated babies, these are drunk babies, no less, is gaining popularity as a remedy for hungover grown-ups. Oh, grown-ups. Okay, that's making more sense now. Even though Pedialyte sales have jumped, experts say waiting is the only real way to recover after a booze-filled night.
I just have to say, dehydrated babies, that's a great invention. For long trips and stuff, just dehydrate them.
Right.
And then when you get to when you get to the vacation spot and it's time to, get them out of the car, a few drops of water, boom, your babies are back.
They keep. You can also, I guess, smoke a baby too. Get out your smoker, get that baby in there, smoke them a bit, get that nice little charred flavor on them. Maybe dehydrate them, maybe like a baby jerky.
Baby, and that would be good. That would be great for long trips.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it's going to save very, very well.
Yeah. So, hey, let's keep it up, scientists. This story here has had me a little bit concerned, and I'll just give you the headline: U.S. Antarctic research is a victim of shutdown. Losses are irreplaceable. Apparently, the National Science Foundation had to recall some scientists and peel back some programs due to the government shutdown. And the worst part about this is with the Antarctica is the jobs freeze.
Oh, that yeah, you said you had something for that.
I thought it was bad.
Yeah, you said it was bad. I just didn't realize how bad. Now, are we sure? Are we sure these guys are actually gone on this furlough, or did they happen to run across maybe something buried in the ice? Because I've seen a thing or two that makes me believe that this could be a cover-up.
I've seen at least 2 things.
At least 2 things.
That would say that, yeah.
A thing or 2 I've seen.
Right. Or the thing. Or 2 of the things.
Is that what the second one is called? The thing or 2?
Oh, it's 2?
Folks, if you're not following, don't worry about it. I'm not either.
Yeah, I thought, I guess apparently I was misreading where we were going with that.
Yeah. So we have another another beer drinking story, or story that's related to alcohol. We seem to have these themes sometime. Last week it was death, and this week it's being drunk.
The movie The Thing.
Right, The Thing.
Right.
And then
there's been at least 3 movies of The Thing. That's why
3?
It was based on another Thing movie, wasn't it?
Thing 1 and Thing 2 from Dr. Seuss?
Wasn't the Kurt Russell Thing a remake of an earlier Thing? And then there was a new Thing that came out.
I guess you're right.
And then that was also The Thing, right?
Mm-hmm. So 3 things.
Right.
So a thing or 2 or a thing.
Right.
Is that what you...
Yes.
Okay.
I was trying to make up for the freeze pun, and apparently I went off the rails.
Yeah, I'm not sure we got there. Well, you've got time. There's time to make up for it. You know what? Maybe we should go ahead and do our sponsor. What do you think of that?
That's fine.
Okay, let's get to our sponsor. This is Smitzer's official theme song, by the way, if you didn't know. Once again, our sponsor this week is Smitzer's, our favorite sponsor. And this week we're going to bring to you Smitzer's Crotch Be Fresh. When the stench of your undercarriage starts to threaten your marriage, reach for Smitzer's Crotch Be Fresh.
If it smells like cheese when you open your knees, or things get funky when you let loose your monkey, you can depend on Smitzer's Crotch Be Fresh.
Now available as a convenient roll-on. Find it in your local hygiene shoppy. It says shoppy. They're a British company, I think. Or maybe an old English company. I don't know how that
Ye old hygiene shoppy.
Ye old hygiene shoppy. So, let's see. Let's get back to this beer-making story I alluded to before we went back to the failed thing bit. It's not a bit, by the way. It's the news. So, there's a Colorado 6th grader who has a beer-making experiment headed for a space station. I guess the International Space Station. Or the Chinese one. I don't know which one. Well, let's find out. Michael's prize-winning entry, what are the effects of creation of beer in microgravity, and is it possible it'll launch into space in December? Now are we talking about the creativity of beer or the effects of beer on astronauts? Because that's what I'm interested in.
Yeah, I don't think... there hasn't been much, to my knowledge, there's been a whole lot of experimentation into that. Drunk astronauts. I mean, I'm assuming you get a lot drunker up there, right?
Yeah, I mean, you would definitely think it would kind of hang around your system a little bit more being in zero gravity. It wouldn't just... because I know how I get. I'm drinking... And after about 2 beers, I'm in the bathroom constantly. I might as well just be pouring that beer in the toilet at this point. So maybe in space, with zero gravity, I could keep it out of the bladder a little bit, which maybe isn't such a great thing for a carbonated beverage, just to kind of hang out in kind of the middle of your body. But hey, I guess we'll find out with this experiment. The competition is part of a student spaceflight experiments program launched in 2010 by the National Center for Earth and Space Science Education to spark interest in a new generation of students for careers in science, technology, and math. It's also known as STEM. So, I like that we're pushing this idea of oh, okay, we need some experiments for space. I'm thinking some beer. I think his father maybe had something to do with this, or maybe this kid is a drunk and he needs his Pedialyte, in the morning. Who knows?
Yeah, I wonder if they might be packing a lot of Pedialyte up, at the space station as well to make,
I see a second experiment here.
Yeah.
The effects of Pedialyte in space to see the effects on drunk, hungover astronauts. Michael, he came up with this idea after reading a book, it turns to find out, called Gruesome Facts, that explained about why beer is so popular in the Middle Ages. It was a punishment for crimes, apparently, that you couldn't drink beer, he said, and most people didn't survive that because the water was so contaminated. Yeah, that punishment still remains, but I believe it's referred to as marriage now.
Oh.
See? Come on, man. I tried to give you a bone on your other jokes. You can at least give me something. Something.
Yeah, that was good, man.
All right. Pondering how alcohol killed bacteria in the water, Michael thought this might be also good for future space colonies. Possibly an opportunity to open the first microbrewery in space. I mean, I think that would be pretty popular. And I have to wonder, do you think Sandy Bullock in Gravity would have done as well if she had been drunk the whole time?
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely would have been more entertaining if I had been drunk the whole time that I watched the movie, perhaps.
Certainly.
Yeah.
More than anything. But maybe a possible sequel is in order with some wacky drunk astronauts who get in a spot of trouble. I think it's ripe for adventure.
Yeah, well, and I think, you change up the storyline a little bit. Instead of getting to the next space station in order to, get back to Earth to save themselves, they're getting there because they have the wicked microbrewery already there, It's kind of a, just a bar hop.
Yeah, I think the great thing, too, would be if they get really drunk and they're in the capsule that they can call 911 and say they can't get out of their capsule because they're too drunk.
Yeah, I mean, that would...
This is a callback to your other story about the girl who was too drunk to
it's a good...
get out of her car.
Cool. Here's a story that's probably close to your heart, Vince. A man blames a bathroom emergency on a high-speed chase. A Utah man has been sentenced to 7 days in jail after a high-speed chase that he blamed on a bathroom emergency. 39-year-old Jeffrey Laub told Judge Monday that he ate something that upset his stomach and he was racing to get to a rest area in Logan Canyon. The Herald Journal reports 1st District Judge Thomas Wilmore called the explanation one of the worst stories he had ever heard. He hadn't heard this podcast yet, though, when he said that. The judge pointed out that the law passed several outhouses while he led a Utah Highway Patrol trooper on a chase last spring that reached 111 miles an hour. This guy had to go. I mean, Laub, who's from Garden City, pleaded guilty in August to failure to stop and impaired driving. So now, apparently, if you got to take a crap, you're now driving impaired.
Well, I know the feeling. I've had that problem before, sitting in traffic and something starts a grumbling and a mumbling and a fumbling in the stomach, and I do kind of get out of control in my driving at that point.
Well, maybe there's something to that then. Impaired by bowel movement. I don't know. It's bad.
Yeah, he could probably use, I think we have a couple of Smitzer's products that we could probably send out to that guy that may help that. I'm not sure. I'm sure he could use some salve. The funny thing is, he had chili with spaghetti. Kind of the root of the problem. So.
Well, my chili is pretty, well known over in Utah, and it gets passed around quite a bit. So yeah, maybe so.
It's that well-known Utah chili. I thought I was mistaken earlier. It wasn't Canadian.
It's not Canadian. It's Utah chili.
It's Utah chili.
It's Utah chili.
Yeah.
I like how the judge pointed out that the guy passed several outhouses while he led a Utah the highway patrol on the chase at 100 miles an hour. I mean, at that point, I mean, you're all in, right? I mean, I don't know where you're necessarily. I mean, does he think he's going to get to his house, get out of the car, and make it to home turf before he lets us go?
Well, I know I like to do that.
Yeah,
I'm not going to stop for an outhouse. I mean, at the very least, I'm going to stop at like a Barnes and Noble.
I mean, they expect him to stop because at this point, I don't think they knew why he was even running. Right? Was he going to stop? Hold up, guys! I just need to go to the outhouse, hop back in the car, and resume the chase. I mean, I don't really understand the situation there, but Apparently, it was in bad shape.